How do we put together drop lines and how many do we replace each year? That's what we're going to find out. We're heading up to Warren's house because it's been a windstorm around here. So we like to stay out of the woods when it's a storm. So let's go find out.
This looks real professional.
It's nice to see this bar is being used.
Yeah, it's the only time it ever gets used. I've cut hundreds of rolls off of that bar. It's paid for itself already. So right now I'm cutting drop lines. So far I've cut like 40 rolls of green tubing, all for drop lines. I only got probably 1,000 more drop lines that I got to make this year. Bundle them up in bundles of 25, that way it's easy to keep track of how many we're putting in the woods. So far I made like 44,000 drop lines. Every year I usually make like 5,000 and we replace 5,000 drops every year no matter what. Whether we're replacing the whole woods or just replacing the drop lines. Because they say every 3 to 5 years you should replace the drops just because the bacteria builds up in them. We started using green drops. That way they stick out from the rest of the blue tubing in the woods, because all the blue tubing is the lateral lines. So if the drop line's green and you see it hanging down, you can spot it a lot easier. This is my workbench. Come home every night and sit in front of the TV and just put together drop lines.
Looks cozy.
You just put on a good movie and sit here for 2 hours. This tubing is semi-rigid tube and it's pretty soft. It's real soft, especially at room temperature. So I always dip it in water just so they slide on easier, because if you don't, they won't go on. When you're outside and it's like 30 degrees outside, they slide on. It's dry, but all these drop lines are cut to 3 feet long. And then every year when you cut off the old spouts, you lose an inch. So after 5 years, you pretty much need to replace the drop lines.
Oh my goodness.
Here, see if this check valve spout works. Oh yeah, right in the mouth. Can't use that spout. So these red spouts are the check valve spouts. We haven't used check valve spouts anywhere. We've never used them, so this year we're going to try some out. So the idea of the check valve is when the vacuum pump shuts off, it'll keep the sap from flowing back into the tree. Because when the tree's under vacuum, there's a negative pressure in the tree. So when the pump shuts off, it'll suck, they say, up to like 14 inches of sap back into the tree, which it could be more. You don't really know. So the check valve prevents that from happening, keeps the bacteria from getting back into the tap hole. And then these are just standard 1/4 inch spouts, which we started last year. Give them a try. So all these drop lines you see have been washed. Every year we use these quick connects. You disconnect it, you leave 1 foot of the drop line in the woods, and then 2 feet comes off and we bring it home and I wash it. So all these have been washed. Some of the drop lines, they're completely black before you wash them, and after we wash them, they're spotless.